Smoke continues to sit overhead, but there is some relief in the forecast. We're going to take a look at when the smoke clears on out of here in just a few minutes.
Plus, UW police found a grenade-like device in the Arboretum. Why these kinds of cases are more common than you might think.
And we are stuffing the bus ahead of the new school year, how you can help local students get the essential school supplies they need. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. We begin with the weather, where this air quality remains an issue throughout southern Wisconsin.
Under an air quality warning for a week now, and those hazy conditions will continue tomorrow. For the latest, we go to meteorologist Blaze Keller and our first warn forecast, Blaze.
That's right. These last couple of days, I've always ended the forecast, or when we were talking about the latest air quality alert, saying I expect it to continue on. This time I don't. After Tuesday, I think we're going to be sitting underneath less smoky conditions, so I don't foresee that air quality alert being extended. But for now, it's been extended to Tuesday as we continue to sit underneath these hazy conditions. We're taking a live look there towards Lake Mendota in downtown Madison. 76 degrees. Dew points are beginning to climb into the upper 50s. They were once in the upper 40s. So we're starting to trade the smoke for the humidity. But stretching from northern Wisconsin all the way through central parts of our coverage area, that's where we find those oranges, indicating that thicker smoke. A pocket of less smoke cover off towards Waukesha County, as well as Milwaukee, and then back into northeastern Iowa. We will start to get some relief from the smoke as we head into Tuesday. Still seeing a lot of our coverage area underneath moderate air quality, which is good, and even starting to see good air quality popping up in parts of Iowa and Illinois. We have not seen that in at least a week, so that is some good news there, but we're still sitting underneath unhealthy air for some in the orange. That does include parts of Dane County. As I mentioned, that air quality alert now through noon on Tuesday. That'll be 8 total days in a row, the longest consecutive days underneath an air quality alert since 2007. But as I mentioned, some relief is on the horizon. We'll track that out in the full forecast.
Great news. Thank you, Blaze. And be sure to track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download this for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. In the news now, a grenade-like device was found at the UW-Madison Arboretum this morning, prompting the area to be closed off for a little more than an hour.
Our Kyle Pazorski shares what happened and how situations like this are becoming more common.
The UW-Madison Arboretum was closed off Monday morning after a grenade-like device was spotted on a boardwalk. It was found by a visitor in the eastern portion of the more than 1,200-acre property. The UW-Madison Police Department, along with Dane County Hazardous Device Unit, taking measures to look it over.
And determined it was a training device, so there was nothing inside that could have done any harm.
UW-PD spokesperson Mark Levicott says it's becoming more common for law enforcement across the country to come across these types of devices. They're oftentimes found in homes of former military service members or their families.
Maybe at grandma and grandpa's house, they don't know what to do with it, so they just leave it somewhere in plain sight with hopes that the right folks will take care of it.
He says the best thing to do is alert authorities.
Call your local police department. Just let them know. They'll have the best information and the right resources on the proper way to dispose of them. Don't just come out to the Arboretum and leave it for someone to find.
The Arboretum reopened after the device was looked over, all within 2 hours after the initial call. It was in January of 2024 when in northern Wisconsin, a similar situation, a World War II-era grenade was located in a donation bin at an Ashland Goodwill. No one was injured at the time, and it was disposed of by authorities. In Madison, Kyle Pazorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thanks. And again, they say if you happen to find something like this in your home, you should contact local police. One
of the suspects in an alleged poison plot was back in court today. Online records show a cash bond was set for Andrea Whitaker for $15 million. The DA has charged Whitaker with 3 counts of attempted first-degree homicide as party to a crime, aggravated battery, recklessly endangering safety, and stalking resulting in bodily harm. The criminal complaint alleges Whitaker and Paul Van Dyne, who she was in a relationship with, conspired to poison women that he previously went on dates with. She'll have her arraignment in Dane County, where she is also charged tomorrow. Also tomorrow, Van Dyne will be in Dane County Court for his arraignment. He is charged in that county with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree intentional homicide and stalking as party to a crime.
Happening tomorrow, jury selection will begin in the trial of a man charged with a murder at the Harmony Apartments in Madison. Devontae Gafford is charged with first-degree first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, and possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. During his trial in February of last year, a jury found him guilty of possessing a gun as a convicted felon, but a mistrial was declared on the homicide charges. Prosecutors say Gafford shot and killed Devon Grant in 2023 at the apartment complex with a history of violence. Police found more than 60 shell casings. Investigators say 2 groups exchanged gunfire. The jury selection begins tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning.
One person is dead after a one-car crash in Wisconsin Dells last night. Police say a driver was heading east on State Highway 23 when they lost control going around a turnabout or a turn at the Broadway Road intersection. Police believe speed was a factor in the crash, which threw the driver from their car. Now, that driver died at the scene, and police have not released their identity.
The bargaining representative for Madison Metro workers is raising concerns about maintenance issues. Teamsters Local 120 says there's a backlog of bus repairs and fleet inspections. The group also alleges since the end of last year, 500 Madison workers for Metro Transit have been working under expired contracts. They say bargaining is supposed to continue the week of August 11th, but that the maintenance issues are too urgent to wait. News 3 Now has reached out to Metro Transit for comment, but have yet to hear back.
Well, believe it or not, the school year is almost here, and we could use your help in getting the students the supplies they need.
And starting today, we're partnering with the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County for our annual Stuff the Bus Back to School drive. And Jalen Banks is live outside the Walgreens on University Avenue with more on this campaign. Jalen?
That's right, Eric and Sarah. It's like summer has just absolutely flown by. We're just a few weeks away from the school year picking up. As of right now, I'm live out in front of the bus that we're trying to pack for our Stuff the Bus annual school drive supply list. I'm live right outside of the Walgreens, right across the street from the Hilldale Shopping Center. And, you know, we're out here trying to stuff this bus to get those supplies that these students need this upcoming school year. Joining me is Jacob Schalk. He is the director of the Fleming Street Boys and Girls Club location. As we had just talked about, the school year is right around the corner. For you guys, so programming is pretty much year round, but how do you feel getting ready to enter this fall?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't know where the time went. Summer's been great. It's been super busy. We've been serving a lot of kids, doing fun stuff, but now it's time for us to reshift and focus into school year and getting kids what they need to be successful in school.
Absolutely. So we've been out here a good chunk of the day. There's been people bringing in the supplies to the location that we're here at right now, but this is going on for the next few weeks. So tell people at home where all they can go so that they can get involved and help those in need.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one of the great spots here. We're over at the Walgreens right across from Hilldale. There's another Walgreens in Verona. That's one of our main spots. If you go to our website, bgcdc.org/back2, that's the number 2 school, it'll have a list of all the different locations where you can drop off, as well as our Easy Office and Amazon shopping cart, where you can order online and it'll come right to us.
And so for those at home wondering what they may need to bring to these different locations or get online for the supply list, list all some of those items that, you know, they may want to bring to the different locations.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's pretty much anything you can think of. That's crayons, it's markers, it's pens, pencils. If you're thinking about high schoolers, they're going to need binders, they're going to need folders, loose leaf paper, notebooks, anything like that that you just knew, hey, I needed that and it's in my locker. We want to get all of those things that we can get for those kids so they have a successful year.
All right, anything else you want to let the audience know before we wrap things up?
We are just excited to be taking part in this, and we're shooting for serving over 500 youth across Madison and our communities to get them the things that they need. Back to school is a super critical time, and we want to be there to support. Boys and Girls Club is helping out 5,000 youth annually throughout our education team, our workforce initiatives, and our club locations, and we just want to be out here and serve the community.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Jacob. So we're out here for at least another 30 minutes or so. So please come out, you know, help us stuff this bus, and, you know, let's help those in need. But for now, reporting live in Madison, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, thank you, Jalen. We've got a lot of work to do. Coming up next, are your kids having hearing problems? One health expert says parents should look out for.
Well, we're talking about hearing problems, not listening problems. We all have those, right? Plus, several cases of measles now reported in Wisconsin. We'll look at those numbers and what the new data on vaccination rates for students is revealing. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Moving forward.
9 cases of measles have been confirmed in Wisconsin, all in Oconto County, north of Green Bay. The cases come as back-to-school season is just around the corner. New data from the state's Department of Health Services shows that just over 86% of students went into last school year meeting the minimum vaccine requirements. 6.7% of families requesting at least one vaccine exemption for health, religious, or personal conviction reasons.
This is higher than most states. In fact, we're one of only 13 states that has the personal conviction waiver. Many states do not allow that. It's only for health reasons or for religious reasons.
Dr. Ryan Westergaard of the DHS Bureau of Communicable Diseases says there is not a high risk of ongoing community spread from these 9 cases in Oconto County, but he says it's still important for students to be up to date on all required vaccines before heading back to the classroom.
Throughout the summer, you may have noticed your child is not quite listening to you. This could be a typical kid, of course, but it could also mean it's time for a hearing test. As children head back to school, proper hearing is crucial for their learning and communication. At Professional Hearing Care in Fitchburg, audiologist Allie Anderson says the main sign parents should look out for is whether your child is listening clearly or if they need to be right in front of you in order to hear you. If you see your child showing signs like tugging at their ears or difficulty listening, well, local experts say it could be an easy fix.
Something that just notifies that it's uncomfortable or itchy. But yeah, you kind of notice a behavioral change in your child, in a sense, that could ultimately be part of their ears, or maybe frustration, because if you don't hear very well, it can ultimately lead to frustration on both of your ends.
Well, she recommends consulting with your primary care provider or pediatrician to see if an ear cleaning is necessary. And still ahead, the DNR helps out a black bear out of an unbearable situation.
Plus, animal surrenders have spiked recently at shelters across the country, and it's partially due to rising costs with owning a pet. What you can do to lower your pet care costs.
And from cool and hazy to hot and humid, Blaze returns with a big condition change heading our way this week.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Animal shelters across the country are dealing with a surge in the number of surrenders recently. Rising pet costs are partially to blame. The American Veterinary Medical Association says the rising cost of medical supplies, utilities, and pharmaceuticals is causing vets to charge more, but there are things that pet owners can do to lower those costs.
If you start them on pet health insurance when they're young and you carry it through their life, that pet health insurance will help you if a catastrophic event happens. Now remember,
car accidents and swallowing something they shouldn't have eaten are two of the biggest reasons for vet emergency visits. Ask your veterinarian about payment options. And there are financial assistance programs out there as well. You can find information about it at the AVMA's website.
Well, a black bear is feeling much better after getting some help from the Wisconsin DNR over the weekend. This bear had a jar stuck over its head for more than a week, believe it or not. DNR staff first learned about the bear on July 26th up north in Sawyer County. After several failed attempts to trap the animal, DNR officials got a break when someone spotted the bear on private property. A wildlife expert was able to tranquilize the bear and then safely remove the jar. The DNR then relocated the bear, giving it plenty of food and water to recover.
Wow. They get themselves in trouble sometimes. Hot and humid conditions will replace the smoke out there. Blaze now with a complete forecast.
That's right. We will at least go 8 days consecutively underneath an air quality alert. That is the most consecutive days in a row underneath an air quality alert. According to the Wisconsin DNR, since 2007, we had less than 5 days last year. We had 4 consecutive days in a row in 2023. So we've doubled that, or will double that, by the time we head into Tuesday afternoon. So it has been a very smoky week here across parts of the Midwest. The good news is we're starting to say goodbye to at least some of that really thick, noticeable haze. So we'll start off big picture and then take it in closer to home, because I want you to see the smoke be pushed back into parts of Canada. Our high pressure system that brought it down is slowly pushing off to the east, slowly because Tropical Storm Dexter is backing up the jet stream, backing up this high pressure system from moving eastward into the Atlantic. Also, I want you to see that smoke from the wildfires out west, that's going to stay to our south for the most part. So we're starting to see more blues across parts of the plains, the Midwest, and that includes us here as we go further into Wednesday. But I think we really start to see more blue skies starting into the second half of Tuesday. So as promised, let's take it in closer to home. Tuesday, a lot of that smoke is going to push off towards the north and east as we go into the afternoon hours. Maybe just a few pockets of thicker smoke. But by the time we go into Wednesday morning, we're starting to see more greens. So that's less smoke, less hazy conditions, and even some blue popping up across parts of southern Wisconsin. And this is smoke through the entirety of the atmosphere. This is not just close to the surface. So even if we keep this green around, we might still start to see some better air quality. In fact, we're starting to see good air quality pop up just off to our south and west this afternoon. So likely we'll start to see more of that green beginning to take over parts of Wisconsin as we go into the second half of Tuesday, for sure by Wednesday. Unhealthy for some air quality expected on Tuesday, speaking of Tuesday, and then moderate air quality there in the yellow. Again, that's closer to that good air quality, and we expect to stay in that moderate air quality through at least Friday of this work week. We're going to trade the haze for those humid conditions as we head into Thursday onwards. So Wednesday is going to be the perfect day in the middle of the haze and the humidity to get out and enjoy the comfortable conditions. Take a look at our temperatures starting Thursday onwards. Upper 80s to low 90s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the work week. We'll also add back that chance for some showers and thunderstorms as well as the humidity starts to climb too. You're going to really start to feel it likely Thursday, but maybe as early as Wednesday as our dew points come out of that noticeable range where they're at right now and jump into more of those mid to upper 60s, if not the low 70s. So that is some very tropical-like air. But for context, we were once in those mid to upper 70s, so we're not quite as humid as where we were previously this summer. There is a look at our 7 and 10-day forecast. We're looking at the low 80s through at least Wednesday of this week, and then we're into the upper 80s to low 90s starting Thursday with a few rain chances to end the weekend and go into the start of next week.
Well, would you eat them here? Would you eat them there? Would you eat them anywhere?
Well, just in time for back to school, Hormel and Dr. Seuss have teamed up to launch a limited edition Green Eggs and Spam Classic Twin Pack. This is serious, people. It comes in this collectible can and is only available at Walmart for a limited time. This celebrates the 65th anniversary of Dr. Seuss' beloved book, Green Eggs and Ham, not Spam. You can get the Sam I Am approved recipe at the official Spam brand website. I'll have to get in line soon as it's ready. Great book.
Yes.
Love my eggs.
Not sure about the green eggs,
No.
but I am sure about the Brewers. They are playing extremely well and hitting the ball.
Yes, some would say they were jamming in the month of July. Either way, you could say the Brewers are baking right now. Which member of the crew came away with some hardware as a result? Next on News 3 Now. It is finally August, which means fall and football are just about here. As temperatures began to drop, some experts are saying that Luke Fickell's seat is starting to warm up. He was brought to Wisconsin 3 years ago, of course, to take the Badgers to a college football playoff. But instead, the program has put together a 12-13 record over the last 2 years. And whatever patience is left at Camp Randall may run thinner in his third season. The coaches poll came out today, and while the Badgers are not in it, 6 of their 12 opponents are. Fickell's focus this offseason has been getting back to the Wisconsin way, which is easier said than done with the schedule in front of them. Well, better late than never, in my opinion, is just another way of saying this probably should have happened a long time ago. It's also the perfect way to paint Packer legend Sterling Sharpe's Hall of Fame induction this past weekend. Sterling, alongside his brother Shannon, became the first pair of brothers to both make it into the Hall, and Sterling celebrated in the only way an older brother knows how.
The last time I was here, you said that you were the only pro football player in the Hall of Fame that could say this, that you were the second best player in your own family. Well, I agree with that statement, but
the Brewers still have the best record in baseball. This is not the Brewers on camera. We'll talk about them real quick because we told you we would. Isaac Collins was named the National League's Rookie of the Month. The Rook hit 300 in July, one of many reasons he came home with that hardware. And we showed you the nightmares. We'll talk about them too, because elsewhere on the diamond, after a remarkable season, those Madison Nightmares, as we speak, are preparing to take the field for the first ever Northwoods League Softball Championship Series. Game 1 is tonight in Minot, North Dakota, and we will have the highlights later on at 10.
Glad something's happening out in Minot. Coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 10, those 9 confirmed measles cases in the state come just as Wisconsin families gear up for back to school, why fewer and fewer students are meeting the vaccine requirements in the classroom, and what it could mean for your student. Again, that's tonight at 10. Honestly, my wife is from Minot.
That's why I was laughing.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I actually kind of like the fact that we have humidity coming in because we get rid of the smoke.
Yes, yeah, we're going to trade the smoke for the humidity. Wednesday is going to be the day right in between these two things. So if you don't like the smoke, you don't like the humidity, Wednesday's your day. Upper 50s to low 60s tonight, and then upper 80s to low 90s to close out the week.
All right, Blaze, thanks. Entertainment Tonight's coming up next.
And our next newscast at 10 o'clock. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.